Hi, this is Craig Severance from the Zero Energy Channel. Come join us as we work to address the challenge of moving toward a world with zero energy from fossil fuels. This video is going to be about the flashing underneath the floor joists. And as you can see, we've already built the floor joists and there's no flashing under them yet. We did that while we're waiting for the sheet metal for the flashing to get cut to shape. You can see here we did not use the traditional rolls of flashing from the lumberyard. I priced it out and it was about the same to have a sheet metal shop cut the pieces we needed out of their larger and actually a slightly thicker material than to buy lots and lots of those rolls. And also, of course, there are fewer seams and a whole lot less work. And it's about the same price. It's fewer seams and a lot less work. I'm going to deal with the sheet metal shop. These are aluminum, and they did cut them with enough length to have a minimum 4-inch overlap on the seams. Because this is flashing, and of course it's a odd flashing. It's upside down flashing. It's underneath to prevent the muck and the wetness from going down the road from getting up underneath a tiny house and into the insulation. And of course also we don't want any rodents or anything other than the ones that live in that insulation to be able to get into it from underneath. That's particularly true where the trailer extends beyond the actual deck. You had, as you will see it from watching our trailer video, our trailer, we had a local welder attach the extensions on to the trailer to make it the full legal 102-inch wide, and also we added an extra foot at the back, so we have a 21-foot long by 8.5-foot long trailer, except of course in between the wheel wells. So of course, as you can see, those extensions that would be wide open if we didn't put the flashing there. Laying out where that sheet's going to lay, and of course you don't want to put any glue down in the other areas, and then making sure you have all the edges, and then you get this down quickly because this stuff skins over really fast, especially on a hot day like today. I am screwing down with the gasketed roofing screws in the part where I can go into the deck. You get it down in there and the screw presses the rubber gasket out, compresses it. You can know that, then you know it's working. When you set these rubber gasketed screws, you make sure you're seeing that rubber gasket. In the few cases where I don't see that, I'm going to go ahead and caulk those just to be sure. You can't see the marks, but I marked out before I started putting screws in where the floor joists are going to be sitting, because you can't have the floor joists sitting down on those screws or they won't sit level. There's a lot involved in this, even a simple operation, but we're getting it done. You can probably see that glare, direct reflection of the sun back up into your face. Got my nice broad brim hat on, but they ain't doing any good for me today. Time to go put on some SPF 1000 sunscreen. Probably too late already. I'm mimicking those gals that sit in the sun with those aluminum reflectors around their face. Think about that too when you do this. And since I've got a whole 10 inches out there where I can't attach to anything but metal, I've used these clamps to get that to glue down on the edges where I can't screw. This front edge was really coming up, and I couldn't use the normal clamps to hold it down because the front edge of the trailer is way too big to clamp with my size clamps. I was able to get the quick clamps on them on the corners there, and then put some boards down and put boxes of tile, which are heavy, to hold that whole edge down. That's the first sheet glued down and screwed down. As we discussed earlier, the overlap's going to be opposite of what you would think, because this is upside down from where the water's coming. You may have noticed that we did not remove every other board in the deck there, and of course there is a lot of electrical for the trailer itself attached to pretty much every board. Here I'm caulking around the outer edge of the trailer where on the outer surface, which is, I think, is probably still going to be vulnerable to having road muck come up underneath, and if any moisture got under that flashing, it'd start rotting out the deck boards that are underneath the flashing. So I'm just going to put a bead of caulk around the outer edge, and we'll do the seams up top. Why am I doing that? Well, if when in doubt, caulk it. So here's the finished flashing up, and then we're going to move on to putting the floor joists over top of the flashing and attaching them to the trailer.
Hello, my name is Eric. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up down below. Also, if you want to subscribe, that's good too. Join us on the Zero Energy channel.